Welcome to Agri Talk, and hope you stay tuned. Today we're going to talk about fairs or county fairs and what you can find there. It might be more of a country thing to do as far as a fair, but it may have some interest to all kinds of people. So we're going to talk about everything that you can find at a county fair, and Pike County in particular. So stay tuned. You can stay with us. So we're talking about fairs, county fairs. Yep. Where you see animals and rides and
a lot of people make the thoughts that it's just rides and Ferris wheels and things like that, and games that you win big teddy bears or stuff like that. But there's so much more that's usually on the other end of the fair that people don't see or care to look at sometimes. But that's all the animals, livestock.
And there's projects, like baking pies or small engine repair or carpentry or whatever.
Yeah, there's all kinds of steel projects, sometimes they call
them.
Welding.
Steel. Okay,
steel,
not steel.
Yeah, not the metal steel, yeah. So a steel project might be scrapbooking, or maybe cake decorating, or there's even some that you shoot. You learn to shoot guns and things like that. Or you may not learn, but you may be skilled on how good you are, how well you clean a gun, things like that.
So it's not all just country life.
It's not. And it's not just, everybody may think that it's for a country kid.
Right.
But it literally can be for anyone. And that's where I think our guest will help enlighten us on that. And along kind of not demonstrate, but tell us what's at the fair that people may not realize.
Right. Okay, so who do we have?
So our guest is from Pike County Fairgrounds, Kristen Campbell. You're the 4-H educator in Pike County right now. Kristen, welcome to the show, and tell us a little bit about yourself. Maybe how long have you been at OSU?
Okay, so my name is Kristen Campbell, and I've been the 4-H youth educator for the Pike County 4-H program and OSU Extension. I started in May of last year, so I've only been here for a year and a couple months, so this is my second fair. And I want to thank you guys for having me here today to do this talk with you.
Great. Now, tell us a little bit about the fair in general. As we were talking about livestock, steel projects. So you were telling us earlier, when does fair season actually start? It's not just 1 week. It's a big broad term, right?
Yes, it absolutely is. So we actually start with our first weigh-in back in December with our steer weigh-in, and then we work through the spring and we have our weigh-in of our other animals, and we have 4-H enrollment deadlines that have to be met in early March. And then we actually have our still project and clothing and nutrition judging before our fair, because those kids can qualify for state fair, and they have to be done by June 20th. So those projects include different items that they can sew. So we have like Sew for Fun for beginners. We have costumes for older kids that they can create. We have nutrition, where they make yeast spreads and rolls, or they have things like called Snack Attack, where they make a snack. They also learn about like My Plate and healthy eating and nutrition and how to read labels, different things as well. We also have electronics, so we have arcs and sparks this year. We had safe use of guns. We had some beautiful woodworking projects. One young man actually built a coffee table, and inside it he constructed a train that worked with lights. It was a beautiful piece. He did qualify for state fair, and he will be showing at the state fair. I think we had 30 kids that qualified for state fair in different still projects and clothing and nutrition projects this year, and they will show either the last week of July, which is next week, or the first week of August during our fair.
And a lot of that, like you said, they're still projects. So a lot of those kids may not even live on a farm. You know, they may be a city kid, for a better word, or but that's or they just don't.
Somebody that lives in a place
they may not
where
even
they
own
don't
an
have
animal.
land.
Yeah, they may not even own an animal.
Even if you live in an apartment, you could do sewing or
You can. It's also a way to help educate children, kids, in different values, I guess, if you would.
Absolutely, and the basis of 4-H is not just about animals and about market projects and breeding projects, but it's actually to teach the kids life skills that they can carry with them throughout their lifetime. It teaches them responsibility, it teaches them how to take care of things, how to complete projects. We have public speaking contests. Where they get the opportunity to talk and to demonstrate how things are done, interviewing skills. A lot of kids don't know how to interview properly, and we teach them how to interview. We have clinics that are done, and we actually say, you know, make contact with the judges, make eye contact, shake their hands, introduce yourself, things that are basic to us, but not to them.
Yeah. It seems like those skills are getting worse these days with people hiding behind their phones.
Oh, absolutely.
Now, I can't remember what it is, but 4-H stands for something. There's 4 H's.
Yes, it
What
does.
is that?
4-H is for your heart, your health, your hands, and your head. And I had to think, because it's your head for clearer thinking, your heart for greater loyalty, your hands to larger service, and your health to better living. Okay. So those 4 H's stand for, which is meaning that for your head to learn, and for your health so that you live better, for the nutrition projects when I was talking about how to be fit and what you should eat and what you shouldn't eat, and obviously it's for your country, your community, your county, and your world. That's not in order, so I know that, but we do have a pledge contest as well, where the kids can come and do the pledge contest. It's for first and second year kids, and it's going to be Monday this year on the 30th at our fairgrounds in our office, and then that evening.
What's the pledge contest? The
pledge contest is for the first and second year kids to say the 4-H pledge, which has the 4 H's in it. So the 4 H's, and then it's for my club, my community, my country, and my world. And there's different ways that you have to do it. And our interns and our office associate, Julie, they did put on a little tutorial on our Facebook page on how to properly say the pledge and how not to properly say the pledge.
Nice. Okay. Absolutely. So, those are so many other things that people don't realize it happens in 4-H.
Right.
Then you also have camps.
Yes.
Different age camps, different activities like that?
Yes, we do. In the summertime, basically in June, all of June, we have different 4-H camps at Cantor's Cave Campgrounds, which is off of Caves Road in Jackson, Ohio. And we start out with STEM Camp, and STEM Camp stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics. So the kids, it's a statewide camp, so kids can come from all over the state, and they come to Cantor's Cave, and they learn about things such as the sciences and engineering. So we learned about food science. We took a field trip to Bellicio's, and we had engineering, where they built gutters and rain systems on rain collection systems. We had forensic sciences in the BCI out of London, Ohio. Cool. They came down and brought their crime truck, and they taught the kids about forensic sciences and fingerprinting. And then we also had environmental sciences, where they went and they explored the creek bed and found different species and learned about trees and nature. And we had robotics, where they built their own robot and they got to operate the robot. So, and then we have beginners camp, which is for 3rd through 5th graders, and then we have junior high camp for 6th through 8th graders, and then we have teen camp as well for kids that go up through their senior year. And it's a great place to be. Fun times.
I've heard,
pretty cool, isn't it?
I've heard some about those things, and
it's
you know, very memorable and things you keep with you the rest of your life.
Yeah,
and they make a lasting friendships as well. We have many people that have graduated from camp, I will say, and they come back to help out just because they love the camp experience and they made such good quality friends there.
Awesome.
This is up at Cantor's Cave too,
yes,
right?
Cantor's Cave in Jackson.
That's a nice lodge and a nice area.
Oh yes.
It's really nice.
So we have some pictures that we're going to talk about, but maybe right before then, so we've talked about right before the fair. What do we do as we're getting into fair? You've got a whole list of stuff that maybe is going on at the fair.
Yes.
So let's see if we can hit a couple of those, and I don't know how our pictures will roll in, but we'll do that.
Okay.
as well.
Okay, so, well, we start out the fair with our harness racing. And our harness racing is a big event that's on Friday night and Saturday. And we have horses that come in from all over. And it's a really fun, enjoyable event. And it's a great time to watch those horses run around the track.
Now, that's not a 4-H project, though?
That is not a 4-H project, but a lot of county fairs have harness racing, and it's a very big attraction, and it's a close, accessible place to go. You pay to get into the fairgrounds, and then you get to watch the whole evening or the whole morning of harness racing. So
it's just like tractor pulls or demolition derbies or whatever other attractions.
For the fair, yeah.
Yes. Right. So it's a very fun time. I really enjoy it myself. This is a picture of our fairgrounds over the hill. So in this picture is all the campgrounds that are back through there. We also have primitive campgrounds on the other side of the road there where our horse arena is at. But in the center building is our multi-purpose building. And our multi-purpose building, we do all of our large animal shows. Well, we do our steer, our beef breeding, our dairy, our feeder calf, and our hog show there. We also have our outstanding livestock exhibitor, our livestock judging, and our all animal showmanship in that building. And we do all of our large animal sales in that building. This is our Ray to Gain steer from last year, our market steer. I think he came in like 1,458 pounds. He was a very large steer. And this is Mr. Eli Dresbach that's showing that steer. And this is at our market sale. So the kids get a premium price, and then they get a stockyards price for their animal as well. And during our market sale, on Friday evening, we sell steers, hogs, lambs, and goats. And then on Saturday morning, we sell rabbits and chickens. And
so we had a horse up there.
Yes.
Tell me about that. What's a lot of times maybe people don't think 4-H as horses like that. So what is that youth doing?
Okay, so in this photo that's up there, this is a youth that is running, I believe it's a pole bending pattern. There's a pole there, and a pole bending pattern is a gymkhana class, which is a sport class. It's an all-timed event. And it's based on their time on who comes in first, second, third, fourth, and so on. So a good time for the poles is probably about 21 seconds. I think that's a state fair qualifying time. And our youth can show in what's called a performance against the standard, or PAS show, and qualify for state fair riding their horses as well. Then they would show the week before our fair at the state fair, in addition to showing at our fair. Our 4-H program in Pike County for horses has grown significantly this year. It's almost doubled. So we're excited. We're supposed to get a new horse barn coming in October, and hopefully to fit all of our new horse exhibitors. So they're all excited about it.
How much time does it take to prepare, say, like a horse or, one of these calves or...
Okay, so your horse project and your steer projects are the longest projects. Obviously, your horse is more of your friend, and
a horse you may have for years,
Oh,
right?
yes, forever.
So versus the steer, you may just buy for that year,
yes,
right? So there's a little difference in
and
when you acquire that animal.
Yes, and a lot of the kids use their feeder calf that they show the year before as their steer project for the next year. So we have a minimum. This would be a picture of a feeder calf or a young calf, and we show they will show that same calf as a steer project if it's
when they gain
a bull
enough
calf.
weight.
Yes, and so they have to weigh a minimum of 1,000 pounds. So like I said, our market steer weigh-in is actually in December. So they have their calf or their steer project at a minimum from December till August. So for a long period of time. And it takes a lot of preparation. We also, this is a picture of one of our booths that is in our art hall. In the clubs, we have 18 clubs that will put a booth in our art hall this year, create it. Our theme this year is thinking outside the barn. So we don't want 4-H just to be something about just about the animals, but we want it to include everything because it's so broad spectrum. There's over 229 projects that you can take in 4-H.
Wow.
So that's another one, yes. A lot more than people think. We also, this is on Monday night as well, and we have an apple pie auction. So the 4-H clubs have to create, 20 4-H clubs can sign up to create an apple pie, and they bring it to our judging, and we have...
So the club itself brings one
pie. And the top 5 pies, they're judged by our 4-H committee, and the top 5 pies actually go on to be auctioned off at our Monday night before our parade of clubs, and it's auctioned off, and that money goes to seniors that are graduating. They apply for scholarships, and that money goes to them to give them scholarship money. That's what the money's used for. We also have our Queen's contest on Monday night at the fair. This is last year's Queen's Court, and that starts at 7:30 this year at the fairgrounds. And this is this year's Queen's Court. We don't know who our queen is. Yes, contestants. We have a very good group of young ladies this year. They're all have been in 4-H for several years, and they've all done different things.
Do you have to qualify to do that?
Yes, you do. They go through an interview process, and they're selected. They have to turn in applications, write a essay, and then they're selected as the candidates.
So you just can't go in and it's like, I'm cute.
No, that's not how it goes.
That's not how it works.
All on qualifications.
Okay.
This is for our chicken show. This was last year, and these are our actually showmanship winners.
Nice.
And so this is our senior group of showmanship winners, and our all-animal showmanship contestants are actually, or exhibitors, are actually chosen from the top senior showmen of each species. So the young man that was that has the first place ribbon there, the blue ribbon there, he was in the all-animal contest, and now that contest is actually on at 11 o'clock on Saturday morning.
Now, when you say all animal, what do they have to do?
Or Friday morning of the fair. I'm sorry, it's Friday morning of the fair. All animal showmanship is that you show your species. So we have the species. There's 8 species. There's horse, dairy, goat, lamb, beef, yes, chicken, rabbit, and pig. So you have to be your top senior winner in those divisions of showmanship. Now, if you win, then you go to another competition that's on that Friday morning at 11 a.m. You go to that competition, and you have to show every species. And it's the person that can show every species the best. And
they
answer
have to
questions.
do each one?
Every species,
yeah.
yes.
So
what do you do?
You may take a horse, but yet if you win your showmanship class, the way I understand it, then you may have to borrow somebody's steer or pig and learn to show them.
Yeah, you show the other winner's
at
animal.
This event.
So what do you do? Yeah, that's one of the things. I wasn't ever a part of 4-H. What do you do to show a beef cattle or whatever?
A beef cow?
Yeah. So I mean, you don't make them sit and do tricks.
Nope.
No, they don't. They don't fetch. I don't think so.
You don't do that, but there is a lot of work on preparing a beef for a show.
Yeah.
We actually have a beef fitting contest, which is how to prepare a beef for a show. So after they wash them and dry them and clean them.
So the picture that we're seeing, I mean, you can just look at that animal and just look at it shine and glisten. But when you go to show it, you also have to make sure the feet are put together, not together touching, but they need to be level.
Yes.
Things like that. That you want them to stand there and try to show as much muscle and like being in the Army.
Do they tense up?
Not necessarily tense up, but they could.
Yes, and you have a show stick where you position their feet around, and you have a show halter that you have a chain with it, and you have to be able to show that animal to the judge. And it's always good to keep eye contact with the judge, but you're not supposed to stand in front of the judge from viewing that animal. Yeah. So they have to.
They lead them around the ring, right?
Yes, and they have to know they keep their heads up. If you watch them walk around the ring, they keep their heads up at a certain level, and then they are never in between the judge and the animal. They are on the other side so that judge can see that animal all the time.
So sometimes it's fun to watch because not all the animals
cooperate.
Cooperate very well. Yeah, absolutely. I put it as a way like the animals are in the Army, a military. They're doing drill work. They're standing at attention. They're marching. They're all identical, trying to be.
Practice this at home?
Yes, you do.
A lot. Yeah.
You practice a lot. When you look at a beef, you're talking 1,000+ pounds. When you're in a horse, 1,000+ pounds. So if they do not, you're not familiar with that animal, or if they've not been worked with, then you don't know what you're going to expect.
So mom and dad couldn't cheat and work with the animal and like, here you go.
Not usually.
Not with showmanship, because that kid has to know the knowledge. That kid has to know how to move around the animal and how to show that animal. The same with a pig. It's not just get out there and use your whip and it'll go wherever you want. You have to start walking them from an early age so that they know how to hold their head. They know how to move around with the whip. Your pig shouldn't have marks all over it.
Right.
It should be, it should walk with you. So, and the same with your goat. They shouldn't have to drag their goat. They should be moving around pretty quickly.
Yeah. So we've got just a few minutes left, really. Kristen, you got some things that we want to hit for sure.
Like
that's
new
in the fair.
activities and different things.
Oh yes, we have some great new activities this year at the fair, and some of the things that I'm really excited about is we have. I would encourage you to come and watch if they have not watched the fair before. We have a style review on Monday night. It starts at 5 p.m., not 5 a.m., I'm sorry. 5 p.m. at the grandstand. The kids model their clothing. The nutrition winners get their ribbons. The Still Project winners get their ribbons, and then it's followed by our apple pie auction, and then our parade of clubs, and then our Queen's contest. So we're really excited this year. We put our horses back in the parade. They haven't been in the last couple years, and we also have someone who's going to sing our national anthem that we're excited about. And then on Thursday, August 2nd, we have what we call our Healthy Kids Day. And so at 1 o'clock, we are going to have it's sponsored by Adina, and we're going to have, it's called the Caravan Chefs, and they are going to come to the arena and they're going to set up something basically like Chop Junior, where the kids are going to make a meal, and then the audience are the testers. And the kids that are in the audience are the ones that they're going to choose to make this. So that's at 1 o'clock. It's free.
That could be really good, or it could be dangerous.
Yeah, right?
I think so. You're going to eat that?
They are going to have some people that monitor over them to make sure that there's no cross-contamination there.
You can't put that in there.
Yeah, no, right? And then in the art hall.
Way too much sugar. Way too much sugar.
In the art hall after that, they are going to have different stations set up. And the kids are going to be able to go from each station, and they have a little passport. And if they get all of their passport filled in, then they get a free ride band for that day.
Hey.
Yeah, so
we can go try this out.
Sure.
Right?
Well, let's go now.
And then we also have what we call the 4-H bake-off, and that's on Friday. And the items are going to be auctioned off before our large animal sale in the multi-purpose building. And any 4-H'er can bake something and bring it in, and it's tasted by judges, and then they can win prizes for their baking.
So a cherry pie could be against a rhubarb pie?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, and they have different divisions. So they have like the best cookie, the best cake, the best pie, things like that. We also have, this is something that I'm very excited about. This is a new program that we're trying this year, and it's called Farm to Fork. And what that is we, in our Market Steer program, we actually are going to we have 5 exhibitors this year that will show their animal in their market class, but then those animals will be sent to RC packing, and then the carcasses are going to be graded. So they will get an award for their carcass and also for their class, but they also get to market their own beef. So they get to decide how their beef is to be processed, and they can market them themselves. They can put it in their own freezer, or they can sell it to family members, but they can learn the differences between the cost of what it is in the store versus the cost of what it is from the butcher shop, and also the quality that they get.
So a 1,000-pound animal is not 1,000 pounds of meat.
No, it's not. You have a hanging weight, so obviously that's without all of the bone and the bone structure, the hoofs, the head, things like that.
And organs. And
right, all the internal organs. So your 1,000-pound animal, depending on the animal, is not going to weigh. It may dress out at 500, 600 pounds. So you lose significant amount of weight,
Right.
but it's still a large amount of beef. And then another thing that we have is we brought back our Pike County livestock judging, and that's going to be on Friday morning as well. And we have a team that's actually going to judge animals there, and I think that it's going to be a great thing. And the kids learn so much about how to identify a proper animal.
Wow. We're out of time.
Yes.
It's crazy. That went so quick. I mean, all the stuff. Absolutely everything.
What's the dates?
Yeah, when
and
is the
times?
Okay, so-
and what's the cost to get in?
Okay, so our fair runs from Friday, July 27th, and like I said, we start with harness racing that night through August 4th, August 4th, and that's at the end of the day. We have a big derby on Saturday night on the 4th that closes out our fair. And the cost is a single admission ticket is $7, and that includes rides, and then there is $1 to park for a parking fee.
Okay.
So.
And is there a website or something we can get information about, or how do we get a hold of you for questions?
Okay, there sure is. It's the you can contact me at the Extension office and also the Senior Fair Board at the Extension office at 740-289-4837, and we are option 3, and the Senior Fair Board is option
Great.
2. And we do have Tyler Childers, who is our entertainment this year.
Ah.
And his tickets have sold out, but you can still get to the grandstand with just general admission.
Okay.
So
Awesome.
we're going to have a wonderful fair.
Sounds like it.
It sounds like a good time. So
Yes.
I guess until next time, Mike, we better sign off.
Okay. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you next month on Agri Talk.